Hey y'all, JD here again. Here we are, episode 2 of the podcast, and I have my very first guest star on the show. He is the star, he's the star of my life. This is Nate the Great that y'all have heard me talk about already. I want to open with a couple of I've written and published 4 books so far, and 2 of those 4 books are dedicated to the love of my life. So I'm going to read that first one in the first book, Covertly Me and You. Oh no, I'm sorry, that one's my mom. So The Brothers I Choose is dedicated to Nate. This one is for my love, Nate the Great, who supports me 100% in everything I do, cheers for me, and helps me back up when I fall. Just like the dedication on my original Airborne Wings says, thank you for being the wind beneath my wings. AMLFMAY. That stands for All My Love, Forever and Always Yours. And then also Montana Moon, he got a mention in the dedication. The first part is to my grandma, but the second part is to the love of my life. And to my honey bear, you are the best father I have ever met. Our kids are so blessed to have you in their lives. You bought me my first horse. You brought our best dogs home to me. Thanks for loving me enough to work so hard to make my dreams come true. Can't wait to hang out with you for the rest of our lives. So, forgive me if I get a little emotional. I tend to do that when I start talking about how much I love this dude.
She's a crybaby.
He is absolutely the inspiration for my love stories because I know real love. Nate is so good at loving me and being a wonderful, amazing husband. We have a really unique, unusual relationship. We are about to turn 28 years together next weekend, and that's our 28th anniversary of when we actually eloped. And then we have also been together 28 years. I think I mentioned this last time, where we dated for 2 months before we got married back in 1996. And in those 2 months, we had only spent 12 days together. So we had a lot of getting to know you to do when we were literally growing up together. We got married at 19, had our first baby at 20. And it took us a minute, like probably years, minutes, to figure out how to be good teammates and to love each other well and to seek to bless each other before we seek to do things for ourselves. He is amazing at that. He just rocks, putting me ahead of himself, which kind of makes me uncomfortable because, even biblically, you're not supposed to put yourself above others. So it's hard for me to accept that he's always putting me above him because I want to put him above me. And so I guess that really equals out into some good teamwork and partnership and absolute true love. So world, meet the inspiration for all of my love stories. My wonderful, amazing Nate the Great.
She always says 28 years, and I'm like, that's 130 pounds ago, not 28 years. So yeah, I was built like a brick house when we met, and I think that's why she really dug me. But
He still is.
I'm just an old gray teddy bear, she says, or honey bear. But.
No, all the men in my books, well, not all, but most, are large men, and this is a larger than life man. He comes from large stock. He's messing with the dog right now. Now she's gonna be mad. But he is just, when we were going on a cruise for our 15th anniversary, we, being Alaskan people at the time, and always Texans, we were walking through the streets in Times Square, right in Manhattan, and it was so funny to me because I'm walking along just holding his hand like I always do, and I'm watching the crowd, like the crowds were out on the streets that night, and I'm watching the crowd just part, like the parting of the Red Sea when we're walking through. And I just kind of looked at him, and he didn't seem to notice that, he was creating a path for me. And I just had to grin to myself because Yeah, he's larger than life. He could be intimidating to some people, but once you get to know him, you know he's a big old teddy bear who's just full of love for everyone, especially
Well,
me.
I was wearing my camo brush popper and Wranglers and
Yeah,
boots, and
that's
all
true.
those city slickers was like treat me like a terrorist. Ooh.
That we have lots of fun memories like that, and I think that's our huge goal in life is to just have fun together. Um, I love so much that he's so willing to just go out and play like little kids. We go out and play. Of course, like I mentioned last time, I need to be outside as often as the weather will allow me. And the weather that doesn't allow me outside is summer, heat here in Texas. Um, so whenever we can, we go out to play. Um, we do what we can. We both have some real busted up bodies. Thank you, U.S. Army. Um, but we try and still get around. Yeah, we're grandparents now, and we both have our real chronic pain issues, but we're still young. We're 47 years old each, and we have a lot of living to do, and I am so thankful to God that I get to live life at His side.
I am sitting down on a little thing here, so our faces are equal
Yeah, as y'all know, we live in an RV,
and back.
so
So
we have to just do with what we got. Um, as you can see, the dog in the background and our life really in
sitting
our
in
back
my
room.
chair, she thinks it's hers. I make her get out. She mopes the rest of the day.
So I had some questions that I was gonna ask just to kind of preface this podcast a little bit. Um, I I talked about when we got together. We met in November 17th, 1995, and got married, eloped January 19th, 1996. Um, the date on our marriage certificate is wrong because it had just turned January, and the clerk who did our marriage certificate forgot that it was a new year. So um, if you look at that, it's been 29 years, but it's only been 28. To me, 28 years has not been a long time. Um, a lot of marriages don't make it that far, but I'm thankful that ours has, and it's been fun. We've laughed more than we've cried, and we've played more than well, no, we've worked a lot, like a lot. uh, but every chance we get, of course, playing in throughout those 28 years. I mentioned the camping that we spent most of our time doing, especially when we lived in Alaska. We camped, fished, hunted, ATV'd. Best memories. We were just talking about that yesterday. Our best memories, outdoors adventuring together.
Yeah,
Um,
the definition of playing changes as you age. That's for sure. It was speedball once upon a
Yeah,
time, and
which is a
then
form of football if you've never played it. It's played with a football. It's kind of a combination of ultimate frisbee, football, soccer, maybe even a little basketball in there,
mm,
and it's super
back
fun.
and forth, back and forth. Yeah.
God gave us the opportunity to use that as an outreach when we were in Germany. Um, we were there for 3 years, and we were super young and mostly healthy.
Hmm.
So we were able to play often, and people who would never go to the church came to Speedball Sunday, and our some of our chaplains would play with us, our chaplains assistants, and there was always a prayer before, and then if someone got hurt, we were able to pray over the hurt person, and honestly, God has used our marriage as our greatest witness throughout our time together.
Well, the speedball was a big outreach for me. You know,
Yes, yes.
I mean, I've been a heathen, kind of still am, but
No.
I mean, it was great for me to be around really good people. And
Mhm.
remember Danny Perez, and
Mhm.
that was just a really wonderful group of people to be with. And
Mhm.
using a sport, that kind of drew me into that world. And I'll for always be grateful for that.
Yeah, me too. And I did talk about that in the last podcast. Mentioned Danny and Catherine Perez. They are missionaries with the missionary group Cadence International that is for the United States military. We met them in Germany right away when God sent us to his greenhouse, if you remember. I called it the greenhouse because that's where he sends people to grow and to come back to him. Um, but I wanted to get to these questions, if you don't mind.
I'll do my best.
Okay. And I intend to answer them this likewise.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is what drew you to me back in 1995?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily drew to you. At that time, like you, I mean, really wasn't looking for a relationship. I was all about having fun. Spent a lot of time on the beach with all my soldier buddies, football, softball, baseball, racquetball, golf. Started golfing back then. And then here you come into my life, thanks to your sister, of course. And I don't know, it was, that was pre 9/11, of course. So I was able to see you for the first time coming off the, what do you call it? Not the
The
runway,
jetway. Mm-hmm.
jetway. And you had that big old belt buckle on and a smile and beautiful blue eyes, and curly hair. And I was like, wow, she's cute. And I didn't know you, but we got to know each other really quick, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
But I have some regrets about when we first met, and one of those was the night we spent on the beach, the night we met,
Mm-hmm.
and I was such a gentleman,
Yeah, he
and
was. He was
I
very,
was.
very sweet.
I've always been a gentleman. That's how I was raised. But that was a perfect opportunity to have our first kiss, and I was no. So if I had a rewind button, actually, I would have sucked your face off back on that day. So, but yeah, it was really neat weekend and the weekend we met,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember that like it was 5 years ago, but it was quite a ways
It
ago.
doesn't feel like 28 years.
1995. I mean, man, first Braves World Series, by the way, in my lifetime.
Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves.
But and I think I drew to you more after that because it was I think it was the first time in my life I had felt that way about a woman, and uh, then I started really drawn to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had orders in Germany, and it was such a quick, you know, I went out to the Mojave Desert, spent 30 days out there smashing MREs and playing war games, and then you know the old phone booth. When we came back in from the box, I'd run and make a collect call to talk to her, and we had like a $600 phone bill for a month. But I think that's when I drew to you, and I realized how much I did fall for you. Was during that excitement that I got to come and hear your voice when I could. And then getting out of the desert, I changed my whole Christmas plans because we got out like on the 23rd of December, and I was going to go home and hang out with my folks for a few weeks, but it was like a hit and run. I just got to East Texas, said hello, what's up? And then I hauled butt to Maryland to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she was at the time. And so I think it was a combination of a lot of things that drew me to you. And it wasn't overnight. It was, like I said, it was just, I never felt that way about anybody. And, so uh, I was madly in love with you naturally after a few weeks. That's why I asked you to marry me. And then, the story is I took her to Germany on a honeymoon.
For
They,
3 years.
they have a dime to my name, but hey, let's go on a honeymoon to Germany.
Yeah, we got to see
So,
all of Europe too.
yeah,
I mean, most of it. We did Paris, which for us was like
terrible.
not a good
Terrible.
thing.
There's
No
like
offense,
no place to fish over there. It's terrible.
Um, well, we saw Italy, which was our favorite trip.
Loved
We
Italy.
loved Italy. We went.
Switzerland was really good too.
He took me there for my birthday. We had a 5-month-old in tow, and that child had not cried really that much in his entire life until we decided to drive 12 hours from Germany down to
Camp
where is Pisa?
Italy. It was
Yeah,
at Camp there. It's called
yeah, Camp
Camps
Darby,
Darby. Yep.
Italy. Anyway, we discovered our child could cry, which was very heartbreaking for us. We were just like, what? But to back up, that night we met in 1995, November. We did go to the beach. We were very young and crazy, and so we just were not sleepy. I got in late. He did meet me at the end of the jetway, and me and all my 19-year-old vanity, I needed glasses or contacts, and I didn't have any contacts at the time, and I wasn't going to wear glasses. Um, and so I just kind of squared my shoulders back and lifted my head and marched off the plane, just grinning, hoping he would recognize me because we had seen each other's pictures. When I was visiting my sister, he was off on the, um, the training where he ended up getting his body destroyed by military
I don't want
equipment.
to talk about all that.
And so anyway, I had seen his picture, and he wasn't around at the time. I was actually on a date with his roommate when I saw his picture. And then he saw my picture at my sister's house because he used to go over to get a home cooked meal. He was a single soldier, and single soldiers love home cooked meals anytime they can get them. Um, and so we kind of knew of each other. We had seen each other. I found him and his red hair super cute, and he said that he found me quite adorable as well. Um, and, and then I came down to visit because I had an airline ticket that I was going to use, and blah blah blah. Long story. I didn't get to use it, and I needed to use it before it expired. So I came down the week before Thanksgiving, and my sister, my older sister, who never ever bucks the system, never breaks the rules, sent this guy I had never met to come pick me up from the airport in the middle of the night. Almost like, wait, does Dad know you did this? But we joke every year about us, owing our legacy of love to my sister and her temporary break with sanity, I guess. Because if Dad had known she sent a stranger to pick up her baby sister, she'd have been in trouble.
I was no stranger. I was going over there eating all the time.
Right, right. But you were a stranger to me.
And I did romance her on the phone before I met her. So
Yeah,
she knew what she was getting into.
I did. I talked to him for the first time on the phone as the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. There was much shouting and screaming, and I was just like, well, this will be interesting. Anyway, I get off the plane and I can't see him, but he sees me and he comes up to me and handshake, and at the time, he doesn't like it when I tell this part, he had sideburns and I didn't like them.
They weren't even sideburns. They were like just right here at the bottom of the earlobe, 670-1. I kept it, my military appearance, boom,
Yeah, he was legit. But I didn't say anything to him about it. It was none of my business. He's a grown man. He can do what he wants, right? And
Yeah, next thing I was shaving
so
the sideburns off.
So anyway, honestly, I did not say anything to him about it. We go out to Tybee Island in Savannah, Georgia, that night when we couldn't sleep when we got back from the airport, and it's 33 degrees on the beach with of course, the ocean breezes, and they weren't just breezes; they were wind, and we were freezing. It was so cold for us. We hadn't been to Alaska yet at that point, so we were both very cold little Texans laying on that beach. And everything was on the up and up. Like he said, he was a perfect gentleman. And I had decided, because I didn't like the sideburns, that we would just be friends. Well, by the time the sun came up, we never did sleep. By the time the sun came up, I was thinking, I don't want to just be friends with him, which was odd for me because I was kind of anti relationship. I had a plan and I was set on the path I was going down. I was going to go be a Marine, and I was determined. I was on my path and I was ready to go. Um, then by noon the next day, uh, I told my sister I'm going to marry that boy, and she looked at me like, "Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. What happened to little Miss Tough Girl who's going to go take the world by storm?" And I was just like, well, she fell in love. And there was no future for me as a Marine because I fell in love with an army boy. and they don't get stationed together often. So I just set that aside. And right after we got married, I got pregnant probably within a month or two, 2 months maybe. And then, um, just kind of the rest is 28 years of history that we've built together carefully. Um, but like he said, he was shaving his sideburns off, and he did it of his own accord, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I looked at him like, "You shaved off your sideburns." He goes, "Well, yeah." And I can't remember why he said he did,
Because
but
you said you didn't like them.
I
That's
didn't say
exactly
that.
that. You said, I don't like sideburns, so I cut them off.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I did. I don't remember saying it. Anyway, like I said, it was a matter of 12 hours after meeting him. I was in love with him, and I wanted to spend my life with him, so I did. Um, that's a long way of answering the "what drew you to me" question. Uh, I'm just so thankful that God softened my heart. I went home after that visit, after falling in love with him, and I was telling friends, I'm in love. I'm going to get married. I love this man. And they were scoffing at me and making fun of me. And they're like, there's no way. There's no way. You've known him 5 minutes. And I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really have a choice in this, So, anyway, I'll move on. Uh, do you have a favorite part of being married to me? Clean part.
Uh, I think it's the adventurous lifestyle that we have. The older we've gotten, it ain't really slowed down. It's just changed as far as what we do. I mean, used to be the late nights and the partying and this and that. Now it's just hanging out and it's just playing cards or barbecuing or jumping in a car, running off, going to the Frio River so we can cool off.
Yeah.
Uh, we just live a fun life. I mean, it's a constant go. Uh, and keeps me active, I guess you'd say. So, uh, and then I'm, you know, I'm spoiled, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm definitely not controlled or nothing, but I don't take advantage of that. I do what I want when I want. But again, I would rather hang out with you and love you first before I do the things that I want to do. And I think based on where we've been and where we are now, and where we're going, I would put our relationship up against anybody's because we have had some rough times.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to be with you no more. Rough times. Uh,
That's soul crushing when you reach that
yeah,
point.
lot of learning, and like I said, having God in our lives has been a huge thing for us. And you know, uh, a lot of people say take it day by day. Well, you might want to start take it hour by hour if you have to. It's
Yeah.
just when I wake up in the mornings, I don't. I always want to think about you and your day and what you may need. Uh, to me, it's just I ain't gonna say it's a responsibility. I take great pride and joy in uplifting you and making sure that you're happy in life because uh, when you're happy, I'm happy. I've always said that. So I don't even know if I answered your question, but
No, you did. I think my favorite part of being married to you is that I
I
always,
thought you were asking me the questions. I'm totally kidding.
uh, I love having my best friend always available to me. I guess that's kind of selfish. Um, I he makes me laugh so much, and I mean, I love the way you make me laugh. I love that you make it a mission to make me laugh once a day at least. You know, and now as we're older people and we've been together so long, it's that companionship that we have, and
Take these glasses off. It has a little shine in there.
we're not just comfortable with each other, which we are. We're very comfortable. Our best moments are when we're in each other's arms. cuddling in bed. Um, it,
Cuddling, is that what you call it?
uh, just I just love that I can, and I have many times, run to you, and he gives the best hugs in the entire world. And I'm not the only person who thinks so. uh, you know, I think it is right now. It's the companionship that we have. Just genuine friends. This is my favorite person on the planet, and just no one can come anywhere near close to how much he means to me, how much you mean to me, uh, how loved and happy I feel when I'm with you. Okay, gotta move on. Getting choked up. um, are you looking forward to anything this year, today, this week?
Just to be honest, the most thing I'm looking forward to is retiring early,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we've done well in the last 5 years setting that path up, and I believe it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
I do look forward to pulling the plug and roaming the world with you. When I
Yeah,
say the world, I don't think I want to go
might
to
just be the United
Europe or nothing,
States.
but we've talked a lot about going to Panama, the country, and
Mm-hmm.
hanging out at Boca del Toro or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Just experience something. And I told her when we retire, I'm taking every clock out of the house. I'm not gonna wear a watch. I might even get rid of my cell phone. I'm not even kidding. I just want to disengage from society and spend the rest of life is short. And it seems like 15, 20 years ago we met, 20 max, and we're approaching 50 years now, and I just know, I'm not gonna live forever.
Mm-hmm.
So why I still have a little youthness in me, which ain't much, I definitely want to do things with you before we get too old. So
Yeah.
uh, I look forward to going back home. We just built that new pond and
Mm-hmm.
did all that stuff, and it's just going to be so exciting to have coffee with you every morning on the lake. And then, like I said, just going. And I know we've discussed running around the country when it gets hot, finding cooler places, and uh, try that snowbird, semi-snowbird thing. It's hard to escape the heat unless you go all the way up to Alaska or something. Which I don't mind going back to Alaska, but I don't want to go up there for months. So uh, living there 3 different occasions was enough for me. So, but I want to go up, do some Canada, northern, you know, just want to run from the heat. And like I said, I know that's hard to do, but I do look forward to doing that. And maybe finding some venom fairs and stuff to sell your books. And, you know, who knows, I might take a little grill and sell some burgers or something just to have something to do. I love grilling, love cooking. So, and I don't know. So, uh, I am a diehard fisherman and I want to catch a fish in every single state. And I've caught a fish in a lot of states, but I don't. There's a few out there I haven't. Did go fishing in Hawaii when we went there, but I did not catch a fish. So doubt I'm going back to Hawaii. And if I do, it'll probably be with business, and it's hard to mix
Bring your
pleasure.
fishing pole.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just rambling, I guess. But I did enjoy our golfing days, which kind of have you know, went away. Uh, we used to travel all over and play different golf courses, which was really neat. And that was really fun that you started golfing with me. Uh, so hopefully maybe one day we can get back on the course. But other than that, I look forward to like making a big circle and maybe going back through Del Hollow. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that's on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
Corps of Engineer site, and it's like a
it's
hundred
amazing.
feet below the dam, so the water's coming out of the bottom of the lake. And in July, it was like 65, 70 at our campsite. And when you get around the outside the camp, it's 100 degrees again. But that cold water coming out of the bottom of that lake just cooled the whole campground off. So Uh, I don't know why, but I'm super excited to go back there,
Me too.
especially if we have a cab over and not this big 45-foot fifth wheel. It's like, you might as well. Squid Games, pulling a fifth wheel. Your life's in danger.
uh, well, he mentioned, early retirement, and he's been talking about that a lot. And it was kind of concerning to me because I've been at home for a while. I stopped working in 2021 and did schooling and mostly writing my books, and I love that. Um, um, it was concerning to me because he's a very active person. Uh, Always got to be in motion, got to have something to do to fill his time. So I was worried because I feel bad when I'm writing or doing all my book stuff when he's here because, like I said, he's my favorite person, and I want to hang out with you, and go have fun and play. Um, so I was concerned, and I mentioned it to him. I said, "Honey, when you're talking about your retirement plans that are coming sooner rather than later, uh, please keep in mind that I'm still going to write. I'm not going to not write." And he just kind of looked at me funny, like, okay, I hadn't thought of that. And then the next day, he came home and he said one of the sexiest things he's ever said to me in 28 years of marriage. He said, "I've got it all figured out, babe. When I retire, I'm going to get you out of this heat like you asked, and I'm going to take you around the country and help you sell your books." My jaw just dropped. I was just like, well, where did that come from? um, like I said, one of the sexiest things he said to me in a while, which is kind of a segue. That's what I'm looking forward to with you is um, now I'm looking forward to his retirement. Not that I didn't want to be with him all the time, but I feel guilty when I am splitting the time that is his between other things like my books. It's almost always my books or my gifts. uh, so now I'm looking forward to his early retirement. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, and I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about finding some cool temps in the
Yeah,
summer.
I'm
it's a
excited.
nice
Go ahead.
it's a nice cool day here in January in San Antonio, Texas right now. So uh, I'm not unhappy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we have to sell your book, so I have money to stock my pond that I just built.
Yeah, please go buy my books, y'all. um, and that's kind of a segue into my last question for you is how do you feel about my writing? I don't want to call it a career because it's not work to me. But you know what they say, if you do what you love for a living, then you never work a day in your life. Well, I'm doing what I love. So,
Yeah. Well, as most people know, I don't read. I mean, it's not that I can't read. I mean, if it's baseball related or fishing, I might read.
like I said,
But
he's an active guy. He needs to be
it's
active.
hard for me to read stories or anything. But what I enjoy about you writing is, I've seen you face adversity and turmoil and stuff throughout your military and business career. So, and I hate to see you down. So, uh, God has blessed me with a great job that I make good money, and like I told you, I want you to be happy. And if writing makes you happy, I don't care if you ever sell a single book. If writing makes you happy, and I come home to a happy wife, then that's all I ever want you to do. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's what I love most about your writing is
Yeah.
you're so excited to do it, and I guess I would compare it to me going fishing or playing golf or that's the stuff I enjoy doing. So it's nice to see you doing something that you enjoy and not have to report to anybody or be responsible over idiots. Our workforce is today just terrible. Getting off track, but anyways, I would say by far the happiness and the glow in you is what I love most about your
Thank you.
writing.
That's awesome. Um, and thank you for being happy to have me unemployed. I I don't want to say it like thanks for letting me, because he doesn't let me do anything, and I don't let him do anything. I'm not the boss of him. He's not the boss of me. We're teammates, you know. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh, you are a
I
huge
just
blessing to
got
me.
one request next time before we do a podcast. You don't put some yummy food on the stove. I just sit here and smell it for 36 minutes, starving.
We actually both love to cook, and I'm going to go ahead and be cocky. We're really good at it, both of us.
We like
And
our own food.
yeah, and I have been torturing him this entire podcast with lunch cooking on the stove. We made caldo soup, which is like a Mexican soup. Um, and it smells amazing. So we're going to go ahead and close this out. Hopefully, y'all can't hear my stomach rumbling. um, Thank you for tuning in to another Bookly Blessed podcast. The next one that I do, I think I'm going to get to have my kids guest on it. So I'm excited about that one. That should be next week. Um, you know, I oh y'all, I gotta give you one piece of news before I let poor Nate eat his lunch. Um, I have been working on a book. I have two that I just recently finished. Well, the second one I have been working on since I think September of 2023, and I got stuck at the end. I couldn't figure out the end, and the last time I wrote in it was November, and I finished it yesterday, printed it off, sent it off to mom to get edited, have sent it to my launch group, my reviewers who give me good feedback. I'm so excited to share that one with you. It is based very, very heavily, almost exclusively on our experiences in Alaska, all our best memories. So stay tuned. That one should come out this year. All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.